Okay, should we start at the beginning and we'll work our way through to Margaret?
Let's start at the very beginning.
Very beginning, you sing, I will back up.
The cowbell.
Yeah. Hello, my darling. So I've been spent the day reading quickies, which I'd read before and been making notes, but I've been looking at it again. So everybody here is watching. Here is quickies, and I was reading a post. I mean, I'm going to say this right off the bat, everybody who's coming in, everybody who watches this in record. Heather is one of the funniest writers. She really makes me laugh. And that is like, it's a skill and it's so important, especially when we're talking about sex, menopause, divorce, women, the patriarchy, vulvas, the whole 9 yards. All we want to do is laugh. And Heather is fucking brilliant at that. So I'm just going to read this. It's a little bit from, it was a post you made. It's called Midlife Women are the True Monsters. Okay. I'm just going to read the beginning of it. I better put my glasses on.
Yes, put your glasses on.
Put the glasses on, then you can see the reflection of my hundreds of lights. All right. Okay, here we go, folks. The call came in like a whisper of scandal, a hush, hush, secretive tone that made me think someone had found my lost diary of 1988. So they think it's porn, so they won't distribute it, said my editor, publisher, our leader and great love, Elisa Kennedy Jones. Excuse me, what? For a moment, I scanned my memory, wondering if I'd blacked out and written 50 Shades of Perimenopause or Hormones Gone Wild. But no, the book in question, Quickies, isn't smut. It's a collection of short, sexy, empowering lessons about midlife women reclaiming their power, their bodies, their lives. And yet here we are. It was such a fucking like, what the fuck? I know we've got over that point, Heather, but do you want to just talk us through it and why they thought it was smut and how Quickies has landed?
Well, I'm here in the U.S. and I'm here in Texas, so we're real Southern here. We like to really restrict people, and I saw the first time I've been censored off of something. I'm usually getting censored off of something because I say a little too much, and Elisa was too scared to call me and tell me that she'd known for a week, and she was too scared to say they banned your book.
And Elisa doesn't scare easily. Let's be clear.
No, I know, and so she goes. And I go, they what? And she goes, I go, oh, okay. And it was the world's largest book distributor that banned it. And it's the same book distributor that promoted ACOTAR and Fourth Wing and 50 Shades and all the Twilight series. And so I think that was the point of that Substack was, okay, so vampire sex, dragon sex, fairy sex, all that is great, and we'll distribute the crap out of it. Midlife women's sex, never.
I don't think so.
And I said, great. I'm in great company if I have a banned book. I mean, like I just
you're up there with the best.
I mean, I was like, ban me, please. Ban the next one. Ban all of them. I think that's fantastic. So
if there's one sure way to sell books, it's ban them, isn't it?
And ban them. I mean, because it was just a simple little, little tome on, these little bite-sized little things. And also I was like, oh, we're going to ban it. Now I really, really want to sell the shit out of it. Because it's like,
yeah.
So that just kind of sums it all up. We are the monsters.
We are the monsters. So what is it about midlife women having sex that's so fucking frightening, do you think?
I think it's because, the thing I say about midlife women is that we know who the fuck we are. We know our shit. We're not in this reproductive veil. We're like, must reproduce, take whatever comes by. We're like choosy. We are selective, and we've kind of gained our witchy powers. And I think that scares a lot of people. It scares a lot of people because they're like, whoa, a woman knows what she wants. Yeah, that's what midlife is all about.
It literally, the gloves come off. And in fact, there's another one. I was reading another post that made me laugh out loud. Let's see what the title of it is. It is Quiet Piggy. And you said, and you put this like in bold so we can see it. Midlife women don't lose desirability. We just stop offering it as a community service.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a rage Substack post. I
Mm,
generally kind of plan mine out and I, kind of have them ready to go and that Quiet Piggy came out along with those two other things and I just, open up the computer and just angry typed the whole thing out, just launching into it because I thought it was such a continuously abusive way to treat
yeah,
a huge segment. I mean, 1 billion of us in the world are
right.
a menopausal age, and to continuously abuse us is just a mistake, and they're all gonna figure that out at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember one of the earliest, like getting together with the empresses and talking and understanding the amount, not only that we employ each other and raise each other up, but the amount of energy and experience and wisdom we have to offer is absolutely off the charts. It's incredible. And I kind of, I get that. I don't know, when was the point in human history when midlife ceased to be the like you're literally the death of a woman? Because is it excusable? And I'm scraping the barrel here, but let's just try. Is it excusable in the sense that there was definitely a period of time when we just weren't right? We weren't living over it, and if we were, like 60 seemed old and 70
Yeah.
seemed old. Which generation were the ones who really started to fucking kick it post menopause, do you think?
Oh gosh. Well, it's funny when you think about medical history, like antibiotics weren't really mainstream until like the 1940s. And blood
Right.
transfusions weren't really big until like the 20s or 30s. So like we like boom, like this in medicine, which then expanded the lifespan. Um, and I always kind of use so there's interesting because there's 5 other species of animals on this planet besides humans that go through a menopausal period. They're non-reproductive for a huge part of their life.
Oh,
And
which ones? Can you list them?
aside from humans, the
Yeah.
other 5 are all
Yeah.
species of toothed whales. So it's
Okay.
orcas, pilot whales, short fin pilot whales. I always kind of forget the other ones. I mean,
Wow.
orcas are my go-to because the female orca lives until about 90 and she goes into menopause. She stops reproducing around 50, very analogous to us.
Yeah.
And her job, it's a matriarchal society. And her
Yeah.
job then is to train the young males on where to hunt, where to go, because the pods keep the males and then they kind of, I guess, dowry out the young girls to like the other pods. And that's how we kind of establish these new orca pods. But it's the women that know what's going on. And
Yeah.
that orcas are what we should be looking to look at how we model ourselves. So I would say it's probably been, and unfortunately, that generation, the silent generation, was the first one to benefit from all those medical therapeutics, but they also were completely entrenched in the patriarchy where they couldn't have a checking account
Hmm.
until 1970. They couldn't own their own business until 1984. So we are primed, the Gen X community is primed to be the first generation that is completely empowered, receives all the medical benefits, and also is financially independent. So we're really the first
Right.
generation to make this long haul.
Okay. So, and how are we doing, do you think? You're meeting a lot of women, you're talking to a lot of women. How are we doing in terms of that kind of catch up, that like awakening? Because in my world, every woman I know has woken up. But
Yeah.
maybe I live in this fucking amazing exclusive bubble. So, how are we doing?
We're not even halfway there. I mean, it's
Mm.
the like attracts like. So for like us and when we meet like in these Empress board meetings and the meeting's electric and you almost feel that kind of
They are. I
coven
mean, they're amazing.
energy. Like the
Yeah,
magic
yeah,
is exponential. And then you'll find the women that will come to me and they'll be like, I don't know, I feel like crap. I'm in this unhappy marriage. I don't know what I want to do with my life. And
yeah,
it's sad that you realize that not every woman is up at the table yet. There's a group of us that
yeah,
are there, a large group of us, but we got to
yeah,
get all the women a seat at the table. And there's still a lot of women to reach.
yeah. And obviously their daughters and their sons. I think I was really pleased to see that there's a piece in here about men, about the the andropause or the menopause,
Yeah.
because it feels to me like we have to do this together. Because one of the things is that that fear of the wild power we have. And there's no question about it. But at no point, the only time my wild energy has been pointed directly at a man is when I've been like hurt, like directly hurt by. But in my pure and natural state, I want everyone to come with us because that's the nature of this progressive world where we make things better. So, what about the men you're meeting? Because I know I've had some amusing conversations with you about men coming into surgery and saying, "We're pregnant." That was one of my favorites. Or
Yeah.
talking about their wife and the menopause symptoms that she's going through. Give me something on the men.
Well, it's funny. I've had a lot of men that, men, right? They read one pamphlet and they know everything. And that's just the male brain. And so I had men come in with their with their they'll make the appointment for their wives. and and they'll talk the whole time, and she's just sitting there like this, and he'll talk about, "Well, do you think her weight gain is from the menopause?" And it just goes under my skin that they call it the menopause. I'm
The
like, "You
the
don't
menopause.
Adam, you don't get to call it the menopause, okay?"
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, looking at her going, like, "Blink twice. Are you in trouble? Like, why are you not speaking for yourself? Like, why is this dickhead talking for you?" And
Yeah.
and I get that they wanna understand it, but they take this cursory view, and they're like, "Oh, I get it. I get it now."
Yeah.
It was interesting, though, when I went to a book signing in Fort Worth, and the store told me that all the copies of Quickies had been purchased by men. The
Really.
men the men are looking for it. The men are looking. It's kinda like the guys that, we dated in college, and they would come into your dorm room, and they'd pick up your Cosmo because they wanted to know the secrets.
Yeah.
I
They want to know
I
how we tick because I get we're a mystery.
Oh, yeah,
I,
like,
I, I
we're a
get
huge
I get
mystery.
we're a mystery. Yeah, we're a
And
huge
so I
mystery.
I think that we need to elevate the men. I mean, there's no sense in us versus them. We just need to all
No.
elevate together and ascend together. And
Yeah.
sure, we're gonna leave some people behind because 'cause they're just not gonna get it. But I
Yeah.
really do believe that a lot of men want to understand. Also, it's
Mhm.
very male ego. They want to please their lover.
Yeah.
They want to be a
Yeah.
good lover. I mean, it's kind of just frat boy 20-year-old that you're just like, "Okay, I just got some and I'm done." Like, they wanna be the guy that, like, makes her sing. They want that.
Yeah.
There's no equal kind of place for them to go.
Yeah.
There's no menopause specialists for men. They go to a
No.
swim center and they, go by and get a testosterone shot. They're out the door. No one talks about how they feel about it or about their weight or about their mental st No one does that for them. They really are kind of sadly truncated in the medical community and then community-wise.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, isn't it? Because we know that the medical community has favored men across the board in so many different ways, certainly around research and all that kind of thing. But that point, that change, that hormone change they go through, which again can lead to so many breakdowns and miscommunications, is there really no is that because they're not it just doesn't exist because we have allowed a voice, or what's happening there? Because that seems if anything, it's a hole in the market, just to look at it like
Yeah.
commercially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's funny, I started seeing men, as an OBGYN, I started seeing men because their wives would see me and they'd be like, "Hey, K who do you recommend for who can my husband go see? He sees how great I feel and how I'm feeling, and what is the analogy to you?" And I'm like, "Well, there really isn't." And she's like, "Well, would you please see him and fix him? Because I feel so great, I want him to feel great." And so I've seen a handful.
wow.
I'm very selective because I don't wanna see all.
Sure.
But
No.
but I think because we go to the doctor so much, we go to medical care so much as women from a very young age, getting pap smears every year. We go for pregnancies,
Right.
that we're comfortable in a medical environment, even though it has been created by the patriarchy. We're not afraid to go in there, but men don't go. There's no reason for a guy to go unless he's sick or he's having like a major medical event. So they're never comfortable in a medical clinic setting. They're very like, ugh, like, what do I do? When they first talk to them and they're like, "You're gonna talk to me?" I'm like, "Well, who
What do
have
you
you
really
been
think I was
seeing?
gonna do?
What
Do a
what did you think
dance?
I was gonna do?" Like, I mean, like, they're ready to hang up in, like, 2 minutes, and I'm like, "Well, that's the easy way out, but no, we're gonna talk about this." So I think they really have been the studies have all been on men, and it's been run by men, but I don't know that men have been trained to be a patient, to know how to speak agently about their health.
That's a crazy disconnect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I've never really put the two together on a plate and had a look at that. But
Yeah,
that's something. And obviously with sex, if it's man woman, if it's woman woman, okay, we're talking about a different thing here. But if it's man
yeah,
woman, and quickies is very much it's sex across the board, isn't it? Right? It's
yeah.
whoever you're having it with. But let's say it's man woman. There's a lot of like that breakdown. Should we talk about the breakdown that happens in sex? In Let's start there with marriages and the breakdown in sex and how like how do you talk about that in the book and how do you advise and what's your kind of I know you're can I say this you're going through a divorce. I've just separated.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing about post divorce sex which we can get into because that's like a springboard. Uh, but when have you at signings have you had couples coming up to you and talking and do you do sex counseling and therapy and how have you got into it like that with couples with man woman couple?
Yeah, it's the majority of people I see. I do have same-sex couples that I see, but the majority of the couples, are heterosexual. And it's interesting that there is a disconnect. There's always going to be a disconnect, just like there's a disconnect just among two humans in general. And you'll be at different phases of discordance in different times of your life. When he goes
Mm.
through andropause, he may feel kind of fat and he's got boobs and he's not happy, he's tired. And then she starts to think, well, it's because of me. I don't look good enough. I'm fat. I'm no longer fuckable. All these things. And then she pulls back. Then he's like, well, she doesn't want me anymore because I'm all of these. And it becomes this kind of miscommunication dance. And a lot of times you just have to kind of say, look, I'm just going through something. I'm not feeling this right now. It is not you. 100% I'm still
Mm,
into you. Men are attached sexually. They attach to us sexually. We attach emotionally. So if
yeah,
you turn a guy down over and over, whether it's your long-term partner or new partner, and you're like, I'm not feeling it, they start to take it personally. Well, then they
yeah,
withhold emotions, and then we start to feel like we're not getting what we need. And just as always, just sit the fuck down and say, okay, what do we got here? And so I think
yeah,
that there is a lot of kind of inadvertent sex counseling and therapy that happens just because it's like, wait, look at what he's feeling, look at what you're feeling, and picture it on the other side. It's called like what Brene Brown calls it, the empathy thing where you're like, well, would I feel bad if
deep
I had
listening.
cancer? If I had
Yeah,
cancer and if he had cancer, he couldn't have sex, would I not want him anymore? No. So why would I assume that that's the same for me? And
yeah,
so it's this empathy window that we create, especially as women,
yeah,
and this happened in my own marriage. We went without sex for a couple of years, and
mm,
and he was going through shit. He was traumatized and molested as a child, and
mm,
I didn't know all that. So I just thought I turned 40. I was like, let's say I'm 40, fat, unfuckable. Like I had this whole list. And then I was like, maybe he's gay. Like this is where my brain went
okay, because
because
he never told you, he never spoke of that, of his past.
never spoke
Wow.
of it. I mean, he is from a generation they didn't talk about men's sexual abuse. This was never discussed. I mean, that still is
Okay.
even a little
Yeah,
taboo.
it's still very
And
taboo.
so,
Yeah,
you think about the Menendez brothers, like that was the big thing when
yeah,
male sexual abuse came out. No one talked about that. And so
yeah,
I think that we start to assume things in a relationship because that's what we do. And all of a sudden you're
mm,
like, well, he must not want me because, again, fill in any adjective.
mm,
And then it starts to stick in your craw. And then you lose your self-esteem. And then it just goes back and forth until you're playing like a really sad tennis match. And so I
yeah,
think part of it is saying, well, what do you think he feels? Well, what does
yeah,
he want? And a lot of times I'll say, well, I feel so bad. He's a great guy. I just don't want to have sex. I'm like, don't feel bad for him. Communicate that to him. Like he
yeah,
needs to know that. We'll always go and we can always do things faster ourselves. It's like three
yeah,
minutes for women and like 2 minutes for guys. Like it's proven
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
faster. But we want
yeah,
that connection and that intimacy, which we lose when we start hiding things or hiding feelings or making assumptions of our partner's feelings.
yeah. And having that conversation, I mean, I I don't know whether it's as bad, but certainly in the UK, that British like awkwardness around sex, right? And to have that conversation and say all of those things, there's no training for that. You
No,
know, and no, there's no sense really that like well, that without it, you're just up against a brick wall. I know plenty of couples who have got themselves in a real pickle because they just cannot have the conversation, and they might discover all kinds of things in that conversation,
Mhm.
but without sitting down and having it, it's just you don't get anywhere. Right? And and you make assumptions. He doesn't fancy me anymore, or I'm this, or I'm that, or whatever. So, did you? If it's okay to ask, did you sit down and have that conversation with him, and it came out like when you could understand?
This is kinda how Quickies was born because
Okay.
I was in my early 40s. I'm not anymore. I know you thought I was 30, but I'm not.
I thought you were
I was in
25.
my early 40s, and I thought I had young kids because I had my kids
Yeah.
later, and I was like, "Okay, this is it. This is how I'm gonna die." Sad, unsexed, alone. And so I said, "Well, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna feel as sexy as I can for me. And I'm not gonna think about what he's thinking about me. I'm gonna think about what I'm thinking about me." Because I was raised a Gen Xer, like, well, it's all about the validation from somebody else. And I thought, that's bullshit. That's just bullshit. Like, I need to feel sexy for me. I need to show my kids, who were still young then, like, how you fill up your own cup. And I'm not just talking about masturbation. I'm
Right.
talking about like the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
How to
The
feel
whole thing. Can I just
sexy.
ask how many years into your marriage were you at the point where you went, "Okay, I need to do this myself"?
Oh, probably 8, 9 years into
Okay.
this. And
And
I
were you
sort
still
of
having sex? Stop me if I'm asking too many personal questions.
no,
Were you
no,
still you
there's
weren't?
no such
Okay.
thing. There's no such thing. We didn't have sex for
Okay,
2
good.
years. 2 years.
At
There's no
that
such thing.
point. Okay, at
And
that point, that's when you were like, "Okay, I need to
and I thought, yeah. And then I landed
okay.
on, that he's gay or he was joining a cult or something.
Okay.
There was something, right? There was something
Yeah.
wrong. And really what it was, he was processing his own generational trauma that he was going through. And so then I made it all about me. And so I decided that, when a woman walks out, you're going out and you're like, "How do I look?" And they go, "You look good. Fine." And I was like, that would cut me every time. I don't know why,
Yeah.
because I was trained for external validation.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead, I would walk out and be like, "Man, I look fucking fine tonight."
Check me
Yeah.
out.
And it kind of like jarred on me, like looked up and he's like, "You look great." And I was like, it was a different response I got. And so I started playing with
Wow.
it. And I started saying, if I brought to the table my confidence, even if it was faked a little bit in the beginning, because I was like,
Yeah.
then how he showed up was totally different. And
It's
it did make a
so
difference.
interesting.
It did make
So
and
do you
that's not such
think
a big
your
one.
confidence just led the way somehow for him to have a different response? Is that would that be
I think I stopped and not that I think women are like this, but I was personally in a very needy, vulnerable space. Like, I just needed to feel again, like I was in a bad job. I had these young kids. My body went through 6 rounds of IVF. Like, I just was not in my finest time of life, and I just needed all this someone to tell me it was okay. But what I really needed was me to tell me it was okay, and that's what I missed.
right?
And so I think when I wasn't getting this external validation, I would get mad at it. I was like, "Why aren't you doing this for me? You're supposed to love me. You're supposed to honor my body." It was, this must be something. I'm fat. Again, it was 1,000 things. And then when I started showing up, it let him relax out of his, kind of neural system. He relaxed. He was like, "Oh, you do look great," and it was sincere. And then I realized the more I stopped chasing what I wanted and I started sitting in what I wanted, that he then walked forward to me. And that's how Quickies was really born. It was out of my own sexless marriage. And I thought, if I'm going through this, other women are going through it too.
Yeah.
And it really was all the things that we were never taught about sex, relationships, being with ourselves and being happy with that. It was missing, and it wasn't in Esther Perel's book, even though I loved her. It
Mhm.
wasn't in Lauren Stryker's book, even though I loved her, I know her. It was all these
Mm.
clinical books, like,
Yeah.
"This is where the clitoris is, this," and I'm like, "But where's the internal sexy? Where's the sexy where I feel happy and secure in my skin?" And there wasn't one.
Mm.
And that's when I made the podcast, and then I made the book from the podcast, because I thought
And
everyone needs to know this.
yeah, absolutely. And out of interest, did he thi what did he think was going on when you did finally start talking? Because you were assuming that he wasn't interested. What was he assuming?
I think he was, again, processing his own trauma from being a child, and I was
Internally,
getting
without professional help, though. He was
this
just
thing.
doing that.
He was doing it internally, yes, poorly,
Yeah,
but again, that goes
poorly.
back to medicine and men and not doing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna this is gonna be shocking to you, but I can be
Go on.
really pushy.
No.
I know. I
Stop it.
was
I don't
I
believe you.
was, like, gonna manifest that shit. I was pushy. I think I got overly pushy and overly, like, "Well, let's fix it." Like, I'm a fix-it girl, like, "Let's fix it." I mean, I've trained as a surgeon, like, "We're gonna get this fixed." And he wasn't in a place to fix it yet. He's just in a place to, like, let it simmer. And so I just kept following around, push, 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 push. "Why don't you want me? Why don't you want me? Why don't you want me?" And it's hard to say that. Like, it's hard to say that I was a horrible, pushy broad, but I was. I mean,
You were
because
asking for what you wanted.
I didn't have the confidence to sit there and say, "This is what I want. I'll wait till you're ready to provide it, or I'll go get it myself."
Okay, in hindsight, and I hate shoulds, but is it in hindsight, do you look back and think, well, that's something like that would have been an alternative route?
I mean, absolutely. But I
Yeah.
didn't like, again, we didn't have the training, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the deep South where it's kinda like it's a little bit more, Bible beating than it is in England, but we didn't talk about sex. No one told me
Yeah.
about sex. There might have been a video in high school with, like, they put the condom on the banana, that kinda thing, but no one told you how to feel about it. It was either don't get pregnant, don't get an STD, or wait till you're married. Like, those are the lessons. But it wasn't how to enjoy it or how to feel good about it or how to feel good in your skin about it. None of that was talked. None of that about feeling sexy. Sexy was a Angelique commercial or you had to look like a, harlot kind of vibe. It wasn't just like feeling confident in your skin makes you sexy.
So going into marriage, what did you imagine sex was gonna be? What was your did you have any, like,
Yeah,
idea?
I got married later in life, and I was a
Yeah.
resident, so I was working 130 some hours a week, and so I really just thought this is what you want, like, it's sex all the time, it's Friday night, it's Saturday morning, it's this, and it's not.
It's not.
It's not. You go through
Mm.
periods of very big dry spells when someone's not feeling well or someone's got much work to do, and I was just like, I was gonna manifest it. I was gonna make it happen because that's what I was
Mm.
taught to do,
Mhm.
and, it was a big letdown. "What do you mean we're not
Yeah.
gonna have sex all the time? What do you mean I hear about people having sex 4 times a day. Why are we doing
Yeah.
that?"
Yeah. And what about, and I've done this, having well, there are 2 versions of this. Having sex when you don't really want to, but you know that you need to for the intimacy connection,
Yeah,
and or having sex when you really don't want to with your,
yeah,
consensual, but with your
yeah.
and did both of those happen? And what tell me about your relationship to both of those scenarios, I guess.
Yeah, I'm probably like the traditional dude in my relationship. I was always like, "Let's do this." But,
Yeah.
again, I had a very high reproductive drive because I got married in my mid-30s and I was like my ovaries were like, "They must reproduce." And so
Yeah.
I was just like, "Let's go all the time." And it
Yeah.
was shocking to me that as a woman, there's a lot of women out there that have higher drives than their male partner.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's
again,
not
can I just stop there for a minute? Just let's
yeah,
just reflect on that myth. The myth that men have higher sex drives than women. That's really not my experience. And it's not
right.
my experience amongst my girlfriends either. I don't know.
No.
It's not.
It's the
Okay,
story,
carry
though.
on.
It's the story that
It's
we
the
were kinda
story.
fed, that you're gonna be fighting off men all the time, like, they're always wanting it, and then I was like, "Why isn't he always wanting it? Why am I
Oh.
always wanting it?
Yeah.
There's a problem here." I mean, because no one said, "Well, this could be an option that he might have a lower sex drive than you," and I think I said something one day that was really in poor taste in retrospect. I think I accused him of using it all up or wearing out his dick or something like that back years ago before he met me, and I think that was
Yeah.
probably the biggest moment when he was like, "Shut down," you know?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And it was just a desperate moment of, again, lack of training, lack of teaching, lack of experience in how this works. Like, we will not do
Yeah.
that to our kids. We will tell our kids, "Look, it could be who knows who's gonna have the bigger sex drive? Who knows if you're gonna have sex all the time? Who knows if you're even gonna have sex?"
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
Gen X women are very good about taking what we learned and making it a lesson for the next generation.
Yes. Because we want to save them time and trouble, don't we?
Yeah,
And I think,
absolutely.
whatever your sex drive is, that's your sex drive. It's
It's good.
there's
Yeah,
no right nor wrong to any of it.
yeah,
Um, if you are in a marriage where your sex drive is higher than the other person, or let's put it the other way round. Yeah, like so because I've definitely, so just to go back to my original question, like I've definitely done that thing where like, no, just I don't feel like it, but like let's just do it. And then in the doing it, actually I'm like, oh, I really enjoy this. I completely forgot. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So is that like there's merit to that, right? But it's a very thin line
Absolutely.
between like, I don't want to do this. So it's like, oh, it's a thin line, right?
It's actually pretty normal as we kind of get older, closer to menopause, that we call it a reactive sexuality. So you don't
Mm.
really go initiate it, but you're happy to
Mm.
have it if you have it. You're like, yeah, this is fine. This is good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like someone says, "You wanna go out for frozen yogurt?" You're like, "I don't know." You eat, you're like, "This is good. This is good." And that's partly nature. I really think that's partly nature, is nature does not give us a big drive at our age because it's like it does not know, first of all, that we're in menopause. It just knows that we're older, and it says, "Hey, this is a bad idea for you to get pregnant. Like, do not get pregnant. You're gonna die, the baby's gonna die, it's gonna be
Mm.
bad." So, naturally, then the drive, a little bit. So most women become reactive sexually, where you're like, if you do it, you're happy and you'll do it again, but you're not going to go find them and go initiate it. You're just going to be like the reactive partner. And in marriages where one person is the initiator and one is the recipient, the recipient always has the most power because they're the one to say no.
Yeah.
And so that's when people, male or female, start to get the initiator starts to feel like a constant like letdown of
Yeah.
why am I not good enough for this? And so the recipient's job is to say, "Hey, I do want to be with you, but can I circle back and we do this weekend?" Or something like that. The power is in that person, not in the
Mm.
person that's looking for the sex.
Yeah. Because sex is is a like it's so easy to feel rejected around. In fact, if you're into rejection, sex is your drug. It's like it's so there's such a short distance, isn't there,
It's really
between
amazing
like
that we feel good about it at all sometimes. I mean, between
I
like
know,
our body image and bodily sounds and,
yeah,
fluids and all that and like, the external circumstances, it's amazing that we get through it and enjoy it.
and enjoy it, right? I mean, I love it. And when I was younger, I was fucking rabid. It's
Oh,
just completely
I can totally
control.
see that. I totally
I was
100% see
out of
that.
control. Loved
I
it.
see it.
And then, and then now, it's definitely still part of my life. And it's not like, where was I reading? I think it was Jane Fonda. And I know that what is she now? Is she in her 80s now?
80s, like mid-80s, I think.
Right. So she's kind of announced, like, do you know what?
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's the bit I'll get to. Done. But to be in a relationship where sex isn't a really like central pole of the relationship is just not something that I could do. It's still like a really crucial part
Yeah.
of my life, even though I'm single now. So, but it's still like there's all the other nice tricks and fun we can have, So it's still like a really important part because I think like for me, that's the drug that it sets off in my body.
Yeah.
There's I mean, every drug that's ever been put on the market is trying to recreate that the
Mhm.
feeling of sex and the feeling of love. And both those
Yeah.
things we can generate without another human being amazingly.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you,
Right.
I had a patient that was in her late 70s and had the best sex life of anyone I ever knew.
Mm.
And her daughter, who was like our age at the time, brought her in. And, we always ask everyone, are you having sex? She goes, "Oh, honey, we're in
Mm.
Texas. Oh, honey, I have 8 men that I have sex with." Now, it is true that a lot of nursing homes have this kind of thing, but there's not that ratio. It's usually the reverse. And the woman goes, "Mom, please, not this again." And I was like, "T
That
tell
is
me,
far
like, tell me,
out.
what's your oh, master, what is your secret?" Well,
What
she
is this?
had Phil, Fred, Bob, and they were all different vibrators that she had a different personality for. And so she would go have a fling with Fred or with Phil or with whomever, and
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 have a great time.
she probably long ago probably died with a smile on her face
Yep.
because she was widowed and she was very happy in her own
Yeah.
sexual relationship with these 8 men that she
Yeah.
like probably had laid out like on a velvet platter is what I pictured. And she would just
That's
go pick
beautiful.
one.
Yeah. And because the fantasies that you can concoct by yourself in that private space are like, you can go anywhere you please. It's so, except I read this hilarious article by Jamila Jamil. There
Oh
was a
yeah.
whole article about how ghosts watch you masturbate. It's like, oh.
Like
Jesus Christ, Jimmy,
your
like,
dead grandparents are like watching you right there, like, oh my God.
I really didn't need that. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the idea of it not being there. If somebody, and yeah, maybe you can't answer this question, but let's imagine there are people out there, they are in a sexless marriage. You know, there's a decision there, isn't it? Like you either live without it or it's a really central part of your life. Talk to me about that and the people that you've worked with around, like, I mean, is that a good reason for divorce? You know, you might love that person to death, but the fact is, sex matters. So,
Sex does matter. I mean, it's a huge part of a relationship. I mean, otherwise you're friends. And
right.
so, it's I think it is a valid reason for divorce. It's also I think why ethical non-monogamy has become so big. Um, Open relationships have become bigger
Is that the same as
because
being as polyamorous?
so ethical, it's hard to say. Ethical non-monogamy, so
Ethical non-monogamy. Yeah.
is where you agree. Like you might have an open relationship, but he doesn't. So it's basically that there's been consent and boundaries and rules drawn up, and it's not the same as polyamory where you're like actually in love with multiple people, but you're actually like, oh well, I have a boyfriend and I
Okay.
have a husband and I have a boyfriend. I don't, but if
Yeah,
in theory,
yeah.
well, okay, if the Duke of Hastings from Bridgerton is coming by, I will have a boyfriend. Let me just say that right
Okay.
now. He's on my list. So if that happens, you'll see me up there with you. But the
Yeah, good.
but that's where you agree, like, hey, and that's kind of been it stems from the old cuckolding theory, which is that the guy was a cuckold in Shakespearean times, that the cuckold was the fool, right? And usually the woman, the younger wife, usually steps out about town with a younger, hotter man, and then the old guy is the fool. And this has been played out in numerous TV shows. Nip Tuck was a big one where uh was with Larry Hagman. J.R. Ewing was a paraplegic and couldn't have sex, and so he would watch his wife have sex with young hot guys. And that's actually a whole thing now. And actually, the cuckolding chapter in there and the cuckolding video I had on YouTube, it was, like, fucking viral. Like I had
Really?
20,000 dudes subscribing to my YouTube, channel for the cuckolding video. Men love this idea that they're prepping their women to go do, whatever. And so I think that,
Oh,
that may be that's one answer, both parts are, but you have to be okay with it. Like, you have to be okay with that that's sex and we are intimate and, you go do that and I do this. But I think it's also, don't settle just because that's their view of it. And a lot of women
yeah.
settle. They're like, "Well, he doesn't wanna
Yeah.
have sex, so I just won't have sex.
I'll just live without it,
I'll live
which
without
to
it."
me is like a crazy, terrible tragedy.
It's like living without food or air, it's
Yeah.
a vital sign of your life, is your sex life.
Yeah.
So if that's missing or that's and it's not missing because you want it to be missing, it's missing because it's just not there, then that's an
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah. Because it really sets off like a like a youth serum in the body. That's how it feels to me. Like it's
Yeah,
an incredible
yeah.
drug. Are you finding, I mean, because my children's generation are much more comfortable with ethical
Yes.
non blah,
Non-monogamy.
blah, blah, blah,
Non-monogamy.
blah,
I
blah,
think it's it.
and polyamory and all of that stuff. And our generation, I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I was talking to Abby Ross, who I think is on. He's they're watching, and they were telling me about their whole family and the million brilliant, beautiful relationships that are going on there, and them working it out and all the rest of it. Um, but within our generation, I don't know. It's a harder reach to
It's
get our
tough.
heads around. Is it right?
Yeah, it's tough because, again, we were trained that I had to charge, sorry. And now you're in my bedroom with me.
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
so
I
pleased.
know, my new black wall I did.
Look at your.
Um,
I had a black room. I loved that. I painted it
I
again last
love
night.
it.
I loved it, and that
Um,
beautiful painting on the wall behind you. This is a
um,
sexy room, Heather.
but
I'm going to
this
say it.
is okay, so I've been sleep divorced now for a year. I just did this room up for myself, not for anyone else. I call it, like, boho bordello. It's kind of the vibe. Like it
I love it. Did you say sleep divorced? Is that what you just said?
Yes. So we've been separated, like, bed-wise now for several years, and having your own room, your own space for whatever you'd like to do is amazing. It's amazing.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
recommend everyone do. Everyone. Why the Queen did it with Prince Philip.
Yes, I know.
I think
I remember
Melania and Donald do it. Like, I think,
yeah,
like, a
yeah,
lot of people do it because, I don't wanna hear him rubbing his feet with lotion all night and, like, snoring. I'm like, "God, why are you so loud?" This, like, I protect my sleep at all costs now.
me
And
too.
and again, like, I wanted my room decorated like my room, not like
Yeah,
I always say it's funny, when I was a kid, I had my own room, and
yeah,
then when I got married, I had to share a room.
yeah.
I go, "What? That's weird."
I know. I think it's weird. I mean, when I reclaimed my room and I reclaimed it before we separated, I was so happy. I was so happy. I was like, I can do this because I loved him, and we had great sex. None of that was the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, we can totally do this. It doesn't bother me that we're in separate rooms because then when we meet, we
Mhm.
really meet. And it was like
Yeah.
super great. But this isn't, I understand now. And I don't know if all men are like the men I've known, but it's not, seems to be like I did a straw poll when it all happened. I did a straw poll amongst girlfriends, like who and boy and male friends who likes sharing, who likes sleeping together. All the women said, "No, I don't like it," and all the men said, "Yes, I do." And I was like, "What the fuck is going on there?" I have always found sharing a bed to sleep weird,
It's
and I
weird.
just thought
I
it was
know.
just me. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Why do I want to? I and I've only now at 54 been able to vocalize it. Like I think it's weird.
I want my own fucking space. I deserve it. I have worked
So
hard.
why?
I bought the house. Like, I pay the mortgage. Why do I now have to share a room with a boy?
Yeah, I don't wanna do that, but I get that, boys, we're all equal under the sun, and they really love it. And
They
that was a
do.
circle I was never able to square because obviously they've Lisa, they've got obviously within a relationship, and again, I'm talking male-female relationships here, so
Yeah.
just between that kind of relationship. Obviously, they've got as much right to have what they want as I do, but you can't have both. You can't both. Somebody is gonna have to compromise there.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how, but it's really good to hear you say that because that's how I feel. I'm
Yeah.
never
I'm
gonna
done.
sleep. I'm done.
I'm
I'm
done
never sharing my
compromising.
bedroom again.
I fucking compromised my body, my soul, my
Yeah,
mind.
me
Like, I've
too.
I've done nothing but compromise. I'm like
Yeah,
good, like with my protecting my own little piece. If it's small, that's
yes,
fine, but I want to protect
that's
my piece.
fine. Yeah, and also have that time when nobody's touching me, looking at me, asking for anything. I can, like,
Poking. Yeah.
poking, I can just recover, and
Yeah.
then the next day, I'm definitely a nicer person.
I agree. I a
Yeah,
100,000% agree.
yeah. How do women fall in love with their bodies again?
It's a process. Like, it's not
Mm,
a tomorrow we wake up and we're all of a sudden in love with our bodies thing. I mean, there are still times that I look and I go, "Ooh," and then I go, "Fuck no, we're amazing." And I think we have to it really comes down to the body is not separate from the mind and the spirit. You have to love at least 2 or 3 of those. I mean,
mhm.
like, I love my mind, I love my spirit, therefore I must love my body. And do I think that maybe I've made some mistakes with my body over the years? Yes, I do. I do. But I'm like, "But it's mine, and she
Like
got me
what?
this far." And
What mistakes
so,
have you made?
I ate poorly, I abused it, I
Okay,
smoked when I was a resident, like, I mean, because that's why we stayed up all night,
okay.
like, I mean, I've done things to her that weren't loving, and so why would then I expect her to treat me with love? But she does because she's here and I'm
Yeah.
54. We're both 54. We're like a month apart. We're like almost twins. And and I have every chance to make it up to her now and to say
Yeah,
thank you for getting me through 54 years of life because
yeah,
some bodies don't make it that long. And
right.
so I think I don't think about what she looks like. I think about what she's helped me get to and get through. And so when we start thinking about, oh, I don't have a wrinkle, or I'm sitting here like holding this going, oh, don't look at my neck waddle. But you know what? This is genetic. My family
It's
all has
beautiful.
it. And it's mine. And do I want to get it fixed? Maybe. Maybe I'll pull Jane Fonda and get 3 facelifts. It's not unlikely, but I'm going to do it because I want to do it for me, not because I feel like I have to look good. And I think that's the biggest
Mhm.
thing is stop looking for that external validation and start thinking about what you've done for yourself.
Yeah.
But it's a
And that,
process.
yeah, because the male gaze or whichever gaze it is, but that sense of external validation is so deeply rooted and cut into our brains. And especially because, I think about all of those things. Like I remember one of my kids saying to me not that long ago, and I love them dearly. And afterwards they were like, "Oh, sorry, Mum, I didn't realize." But they said, "Mum, I've been looking at photographs of you about 5 years ago." And in my brain, I thought they were going to say, "And you look so good." And they went, "I cannot believe how much you've aged."
Oh, no. No.
Oh, I can tell you right now, I did not react well. And so then I went on a whole kind of okay, and I looked into all those different surgeries and I
Yeah,
really, I've looked at the whole thing like, yeah, what's the angle? If you choose to do that, and we're all feeling, because, if there's one thing we own, it's our body. What's the angle where I don't even say that's okay or not okay, but do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
because when you're hunting for the external gaze to tell you you're fine, well, it's a sticky wicket, you'll never get there. But so I haven't quite figured it out, honestly, and I've opted not to do it. But tell you the one thing I have been doing, I've been doing smile therapy, like this.
What?
Whenever I'm in the car, I just smile to myself all the time like that.
Just
Because
smile.
actually, I smile well because a friend of mine said, you know what? One of the things is when you were a child, you were really sad and your face never learnt to lift. I was like, wow, wow, about, and that really hit
Oh,
home.
meow.
Well, no, she was right. That really hit home. So now in all of whatever I'm doing, I put this weird mad woman smile on my face all
Like
the time.
psycho clown. You
Like
know,
Psycho Clown. Yeah.
and you know what's worked for me is I look for the sexy in other women, and
Yeah.
I tell them about it.
Yeah.
So I think as women, we've had this kind of women on women like hate crime, like competition thing, and I think I said, but when we first got on the call, I said you have a classic face. I love you with the short bangs, and it's completely true. And I'm not just fluffing. I'm saying that for real. But the more I look for the beauty and the sexy, inner sexy, confidence, whatever, in other women, I start to see it in myself.
Yeah.
Um, because you do have a classic face. You do look great with those micro bangs. I could not pull off the micro bangs, but you could. But it doesn't make me jealous. That makes me actually feel happy
Yeah.
because I'm telling you a truth and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, what do I have? And
Yeah.
so the more that we as women lift each other up, we don't need the male gaze validation,
Right.
but tell a woman, I love the way you handled that. I think I told Elisa on here before, I love the way you handled that email. That was hot.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
I even use phrase like hot and sexy because I'm like,
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
it's hot. Like that's
Yeah.
sexy.
Yeah.
And the
It
more that we
is.
do that for each other, the more we're gonna feel lifted too.
Yeah. You're fucking sexy. I'm going to tell you that right now. And you have sass in buckets. Oh my God. I love it so much.
It gets
It's
me
true.
into
When we were in New
trouble.
York together, hanging out with you and Elisa, I felt sexy. And I do actually I feel way sexier now. I wouldn't have even used that word to describe myself in the past. I
Yeah,
was just too scrabbling around for gaining my identity from the outside.
yeah,
Whereas now it's like, yeah, I practice in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I go, you look fucking great.
yeah, yeah.
It's like,
It is.
there's nothing
It
to lose,
is.
but there's no one here. No one can hear me. I can say that if I want. And
You could say it.
yeah,
You could say it if everyone heard you because
I
it's
could say
true.
it. I just did.
You did it live,
I just did live.
live, right here on Substack. We're all saying we're fucking sexy. We are all fucking sexy bitches.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
it really does. Like actually, what happens when you do that is it's funny, right? It makes me
Yeah.
laugh. You feel better. Someone else says it back to you. It's like literally nothing is lost.
Well, there's that oxytocin that we were looking for and that
Right.
dopamine hit, right? That's that
Yeah.
love. It's better than a drug. And it's just,
It's
it's,
better
and
than a
like
drug.
your smile therapy, you smile and you feel happier.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no doubt as well, the experience I've had now post menopause and meeting, you and the amazing empresses, there's not a shred of that competitive weirdness that we were all trained to behave in,
No.
back in the day. It's like every time I meet another amazing woman, I'm just like, oh, bring it on. It just
Yeah.
fills the room, doesn't it?
Well,
It's so beautiful.
and there's always, like I said, there's a seat for everyone at this table. A table
Yeah.
is monstrous, right? Everyone has a table seat. No one's gonna be left out. there's no need for competition because we all are bringing our own special gifts and magic to the table. And to me, that's been the best part about midlife and menopause is finding those sisters like that
Yeah.
that you're like, wait, we don't have to compete. Uh,
Yeah.
we get to just
Oh,
love each other
we
and
just get to hang out and laugh.
uplift. That's
Wow.
great.
It's
Where the
so
fuck
cool.
was this all of high school when
I
it was,
know.
all
Can you
about
imagine? Can you imagine if this is how we felt when we were 14? Like the world changing impact we would have had at
yeah,
14 if we were, and maybe the next generation, because I do see them, I do see progression in the whatever generation they are, but like the
yeah.
18-year-olds and the 20-year-olds,
I think
they're rocking it.
that's partially us though. We're like not
Yeah.
letting them. We're not letting
Yeah,
them
we're
go
not
through what
letting
we
them.
did. We're
Yeah.
like, nope.
I met Yeah, and I was here the other day, and there was a bunch of, I think she was 20, actually. There was a bunch of kind of 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And I started talking about them. And I'd never really talked to the menopause about them. And I said, listen, it's the best fucking thing that ever happened to me. Look forward to it. And they were like, wow, I've never heard anyone say that before. I was
Yeah,
like, yep, I'm telling you. Obviously, there's bits and bobs, fine. But without any doubt, you wait. It's wild. And they were like,
yeah.
great. It was
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, yeah. I mean, my son even he's 13. He's like, Mama, you taking your hormones, right? Like you feel good, right? I go, oh, I feel the best I've ever felt, baby. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's great, Mama. And I think there's such a tropism in the beginning. Like it was a joke, right? Menopause, hot
Yeah.
flashes. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and now we're like, nope, that was the patriarchy talking. This
Mm-hmm.
is this
100%.
is when the magic wakes up. We go through
This
the
is it.
stones. This is all those
Yeah.
things.
And this is when we can start having the best sex of our lives. I've definitely been having the best sex of my life in the last few years. There's no question about it. Like, and I'm sober. It's not even like,
Yeah.
I'm sober and no doubt. So anybody out there listening who is under the age of, I don't know, 40 pre-menopause, crack on. It's all good.
It's gonna
Before we
it's
go,
just gonna go up, sisters.
it's going to go up. Um, Time has just flown. Just let's talk about the novel that's coming up in May. Tell us about it.
So, it's funny. I'm a physician. I wrote a nonfiction book but I've had it in my little idea sack for years that I wanted to try writing fiction. But I had a fiction writer teacher, college professor that told me I should never write fiction. And oh, white
None taken.
patriarchy coming at me.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
so I started working on this idea a while back, maybe during the pandemic. And I wanted to, because I see so many women going through menopause. And one of my favorite books of all time, that was also banned, by the way, is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I'm a Judy Blume like fanatic. And she guided me through I learned more from her than I did from anyone else.
Can I
And
say
I
one of my
thought,
first sexual experiences was because of wifey?
wifey,
Yeah.
that book was hot,
Hot. That was hot.
hot, 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 hot.
Yeah.
Um,
Carry on.
and and I thought, what? Wait, we learned about puberty through this. Why did we not learn about menopause through this? Like,
Mm-mm.
why did she leave us off here? I feel like Judy missed something. And so I went about creating a sequel to the original book where we pick up now these women that we left at 13. Now we pick them up at 50 and what they're going through now as compared to what they went through in the original book. And I'm in love with them. Like I'm in love with the
Yeah.
characters. It's like my youth. And I have a first edition book of that I bought from a library.
Wow.
And it's got the original old library card with stamps and all the names of the people that checked them out. And they date
Wow.
back to like October 1971. And I'm like, think of all the women that held this book and all the women that can hold this next book, because this next book is to me where Judy didn't take us, but that we needed the most help. And so yeah. So Are You There, God? Menopause is a fiction novel, my first fiction debut.
Wow.
Um, and follows these women, kind of pick them up where they left them off, but now they're all 50.
Wow. And what was the experience of writing fiction? Because it's quite different, obviously, to nonfiction.
It
How did
is.
you
It
handle it?
is. I had to be 50 to do this because I couldn't have done it in my earlier years. I was too much in my own way. And the way that I kind of do fiction is I kind of get downloads. Like I just kind of download from the universe. I feel like I'm just a channel for the story.
Mm.
And first I just started, and I've been stitching this together, and I've said I'm like a weaver, right? Like a witch that weaves it now together, and it's very, very different. I hope I do it justice,
It's
because
such a
that's
good idea. It's like, it's amazing no one's done it before. That's how good an idea it is, right?
it reminds me of like Wicked that's out right now, which is a prequel to
Yeah.
Oz, Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, this is the reverse, and I'm like, and I go, but there's so much pressure on this book because it's a classic, and here we are
Yeah.
taking it on another time. So it is a lot. I'm like, oh, Judy, please don't hate me. Please don't hate
Uh,
me. So
is
we'll
Judy
see.
still alive? Is she still
She
alive?
is. She lives in Key West, and Elise and I keep threatening to drive off of that weird, creepy bridge for 2 hours to go down to Key West and meet her. But I may have to take a Xanax before I do that because I don't like that where bridge. It's right on the water.
Okay.
It's creepy.
But
But
does she know about
I don't know, Judy. If you're listening,
Judy?
we're trying to get you.
Get
Does
in
anyone know
touch. If
Judy?
anyone listening knows Judy, get in touch, please, because
Judy, we love you.
we love you. And wifey totally set me off on a crazy sexual path, which I
That's where I
love.
learned about diaphragms was from
I learned
wifey.
about everything, and it was, I've still got it. It's in France, and it was this tattered, you can imagine, tattered copy of
I
Wifey
like.
on the
I
shelf,
like.
handed from hand to hand to hand. And I found it aged, I don't know what I was, like 11, 12, or
Oh
something
my
like that.
gosh, you did it
I was like,
early.
holy smoke. I will never forget that opening scene with the guy on the motorbike. Yeah.
That's when a
Um,
book could make your loins moisturize
yeah,
themselves. It was hot.
it totally did. It was hot. So, okay, and so you're in final edits, and there's a nervousness around it, I know. And it's that
Yeah.
sense of doing it justice. I
Yeah.
know. Are the characters still talking to you even though you're about to sign off?
Yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, I told Lisa, I go, I almost want to cry because I don't want to hand them over. Like I like
Mm.
love them so much. I don't want to hand them over. I said, but it's their time now to go do their next work. And I think I mean it's you have to kind of Easter egg it up and tidy it all up, and it's a lot, but it's going to edits today.
Today, and it'll be
Mhm.
in the hands of the wonderful Molly,
Molly.
who worked
Mhm.
with me on Fallout,
Yes.
and it gave
Amazing.
me the best notes.
She's amazing.
She really, really sees. So, so have you had notes from her yet, or is this your first round of edit?
We've had some meetings, but I've kind of been like very close to the vest with it. And she's like, will you just write the fucking book and give it to me? And I'm like, but she's like, just write it.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
she's
is where
great.
I finally ripped the band-aid off and it's all going over.
Mm. Yeah, it's about handing it over because it's tough. And there's always that bit like, yeah, you don't want to let them go, but also to find that you have to do any big structural stuff. But let me
Yeah.
remind you, as someone who's on my fifth now, because you've already done it. If she, if you have to go back and do anything, you can definitely do it. Like it often feels like, well, I can never do that again. Like I can't
Yeah.
change it but you can, and you'll
Yeah.
do it better
Yeah.
every single time. Remember, you're
Yeah.
talented,
We'll see.
and you'll do it. I cannot wait. It's got a great cover, because we don't have it here, so I can't show it.
I
If you're
know.
everybody, just go on the Empress Editions website. You will see it there, along with Quickies, which is here and available right now for all your sexual needs. It's brilliant and sexy and hot and really helpful. And it really just like lays it all bare, man. There is no area you don't go to when talking about sex.
No.
And the conversations that we need to be comfortable with and raise and put on the table between with ourselves and with our partners. It's essential, and it's not porn. Although if you want to
No.
get sexy with it, you totally can.
You can. You can get out your 8 vibrators, all named different
If
names,
you want to do
and
that, you can.
you do whatever you want, girls. You do
Do whatever
you.
you want. There was while we were talking, I noticed, and I don't know if they're still on the call, but there was somebody who put a message up saying that they have been single for a long time. They haven't had a hug in 8 years. That's what they
Oh,
said. And they haven't been touched. I think when we were talking about sex. So whoever you were, if you're listening now, Heather and I are sending you the most enormous hug. And we love you. And we wish you all you need to feel
lots of
loved.
hugs. So many hugs.
So many hugs, and thanks for sharing that. Okay, my darling, I adore you.
I love you.
I love you. I can't wait to see you. I guess I'll see you. I'm coming out in April, so I guess I'll see you then
Well, for your book.
for my book.
I can't wait. And
No.
Homegirl needs 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, yes, I
Please.
do. Come on, raise me up. You can all, as I said in my post today, you can all disappear again after the book comes out. But I need to like up, and I hate asking for numbers because I'm an artist. I'm shit at
I
selling.
know.
I am totally shit at selling. But the fact is, if I can get those numbers up to 10,000,
10,000.
I will get much more promotion in the big Substack world, which means selling the book, which means Greenham Common, which is what it's all about, protest.
Love
And there's
it.
a lot of sex in Fallout as well. Thank you very much. Will get the runaround it deserves. Thanks, darling. Okay.
Anytime,
Mwah.
sister.
I love you. See you in the stacks.
Love you,
Bye,
baby.
sweetheart. I love you. Bye.
Bye.